Hello and welcome to Rocks and Rose Tarot, where we are always seeking divine guidance from Spirit, our ancestors, angels, and spirit guides. So let's reach in here and see who this reading is for. All right, this reading is for Aries. So let me see if I can get it in here. If you can see it, my fiery Aries, this is for you. All right. So let's get these cards shuffled up just a touch. Spirit, please guard me, these cards, the surroundings, and the Aries collective with love, light, and protection, and clear away any negativity that may be attached. All right, so I am about ready to tap into this energy. Let's cut these cards very quickly, and then let's get into it. Aries, what messages, Spirit, do you have for Aries? What messages do you have for my Aries collective? Right. Oh, I see your card just came out. All right. This is definitely a reading for you, Aries. Let's get these kind of figured out here before they all really go crazy. Okay, I think this one was next. All right, and honestly, Spirit always guides me what cards go where. So and of course, sometimes, you know, I do take the upright and in the reverse, but I just let Spirit guide me to which way it needs to go. Okay, just a few more cards. Okay, let's figure out what's going on here. And all right. We are very close to having our complete spread. All right, Spirit, I really only just need one more. Thank you. All right. So let me get these straight to make sure that they are all the way that they should be so we can get this reading started. Okay, let's maybe move these just a touch there, and then and I think that looks pretty good to me. Okay, so on the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Swords. So I do think right now, Aries, that rest and isolation, maybe isolation's, I don't feel like it's negative, but maybe solitude is a better word. So rest, recuperation, solitude, I am strongly getting that you are not one to sit back and rest. And I think Spirit is warning you to allow yourself to rest, because if not, you know, there could be some negative consequences to that, maybe to your health, mental health, physical health, something of that nature. So right now you are really being directed to recuperate, rest, take a break. Okay. All right. And I know my Aries friends don't like to be told what to do. So please don't take it that way. But I mean, when Spirit talks, you do need to listen. There's important message there. So let's count up the major arcana. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 major arcana in here, Aries, and that's significant. I feel like once you kind of go past 3 or 4 major arcana in the spread, it is time to really, you know, like perk your ears up and listen. Significant things are happening. So let's find out what. Okay. So we have the Tower in reverse, resisting change. delaying the inevitable. I do think that maybe there is a little bit of maybe you're not being honest with yourself about something. And I do think it has to do with that the whole rest thing. Maybe you keep telling yourself, no, I don't need to do that. I don't need to, rest. I can do this. But I feel like the more you resist that, the more that you are in danger of bringing some instability into your life. The Ace of Pentacles is in the reverse. So I think that you may be, making a bad investment on something if you're not allowing yourself time to recuperate or heal. I do feel like it's a health thing. I do feel like maybe you're struggling with something. Maybe recently you've had to take leave from work. Maybe you hurt yourself at work. Maybe you work multiple jobs and you've just really physically burnt yourself out. And you're trying to recover as quickly as possible, maybe so that you don't miss out on the opportunity of making some money. Maybe you need to make the extra money right now, but what I'm hearing is don't just try to go for that short-term healing over the long-term healing just to get back at it, because you could put yourself out even longer and you could miss the chance to, get back on a long-term healing. Okay. So this is your card, Aries, the Emperor. I think you could be in a power of authority. You could be in a leadership role. You could be known in your community and you've always been strong and capable. And, when something goes wrong, you're the person that everybody calls. And recently I feel like, maybe that's not been the case because of whatever's happening. And I think it's making you feel like you have to really take a risk and getting back out there, because you kind of feel like everything's going to fall apart if you don't get better. And I feel like Spirit is saying that's not going to happen. Things are not going to fall apart. You have to recuperate, Aries. But I get it. You're probably really good at what you do, and you want to get back to that, position of, where you're normally at in that energy. So the Ten of Wands, yeah, I just feel like you have too much responsibility. You may need to let some of that go. But I also am hearing, Aries, that when you have too much responsibility, you feel needed. When you have to let some of those responsibilities go and you're not doing as much, it makes you kind of feel empty inside. Almost like you're not complete unless you're doing all the things. And I feel like that's making you really unhappy. And if you're hearing little click clacks, that's my dog walking on the floor. It's Opal June. She's coming to see what's going on and to say hi. But that is also a confirmation, Aries, that she's saying yes. You need to really take it easy. But I think that really makes you unhappy. I do. I think you really like to work. And this might come out sounding negative, but that's not how I mean it. But there's almost some workaholism here that you need to be careful with. Find some things to do that will make you feel fulfilled, but may not be so physically hard on you. Okay, so now we have the Hierophant card. Okay, you're just a very traditional thinking person. If I'm not doing the hard work, I'm not putting in, my work. I'm letting other people down. And again, I think I just said this, you're probably really good at what you do. And maybe there are other people in the mix we really wish you would come back because nobody can do this job like you. But that is that is a little bit of a toxic behavior from other people. They really need to let you get better. They do. But everybody means well, and I understand that. So now we have the devil in the reverse. I do feel like you're starting to release that. You're starting to let some of that go. And I think maybe something happened that really like made you stop this, like, well, I can do it. You know, like, I've got to get back out there. It doesn't matter. I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to risk my health anyway. I feel like maybe something already has happened that kind of scared you enough to be like, okay, I'll take it easy. I think I think it's something like that. And I think that with the Ten of Pentacles here, I think because you made that move in that direction, there is now a stable foundation for you. And yes, this is about Pentacles. I do think you're already stable financially, but I think that you're building a different kind of stable foundation with this mindset. But you still kind of have a little bit of a rebellious streak. You want to move quickly, towards this Justice card. And I think that what I'm feeling here is that you're just really ready to like move back towards that integrity that you have with your work and your colleagues and the people in your life. But again, I think you just have to accept this Five of Cups in the reverse. You have to just accept that you have to be committed to yourself like you are to everybody else. I do believe that you are kind of the glue that holds people together in a lot of situations. And I think if you really try to just take it easy, wait till you're all the way healed, I think that you're going to see some positive results when you do get back into the swing of things. But I am just strongly seeing that you need to just give yourself time. I think you probably are as close to being a superhero as someone could be, but you're still just human. You are still human and you are not a superhero. You can't do all the things. And I think also allowing other people in your life to also to do those things. And funny enough, underneath the Four of Swords is the Queen of Cups. So I think you need to you need to step back into your feminine energy, Aries. I think you're always in that masculine energy of like, I can do this, I'm going to help everybody do this. But I think you need to kind of take a step back into that feminine energy and just be still for a little while. And I really do think that that's what it's saying. And when you do that, you really show yourself love. And Spirit's also kind of giving me a message of maybe that's the whole heart of this reading, is that the way you show love is by showing up for everybody else and not slowing down and being the protector. Because maybe that was something that was instilled in you in childhood, and you feel like you're letting everybody down if you're not doing all the things and you're taking care of all the things without help. And you have to really let that go, because there are other people in your life that want to feel needed and wanted, and they want to help you as well. And I think you're in that season where you need to accept that and you need to take a little break. Okay. Let go of that traditional thought of like, you've got to be the one doing all the things. Okay. I mean, Aries, I feel like the message just has kind of been repetitive, and I apologize if I've repeated a lot in this spread here, but that's just what Spirit is telling me. I feel like maybe sometimes people have to tell you things a couple times before you're like, yeah, you're right. sometimes you have to have those reminders quite a bit, and I think that that's maybe why it's just kept coming out on repeat here. All right, Aries. So before we completely close, I do want to get a message from my Divine Feather Messenger deck. So Spirit, what message do you have for Aries to close out this reading? What message do you have for Aries? All right. And we have the Blackbird. And the card says, the magical and unique qualities of your untapped potential are unfolding now. So I do believe that you have some qualities that maybe you've never really tapped into. Maybe you have some skills that you've never put into place. Again, it goes back to, you don't always have to be doing these physically hard tasks to make yourself feel like you've accomplished something. Maybe you do something like painting, or you take up, I don't know, knitting, or doing something that is like a little more like, you know, calm. And I think if you kind of, you know, try some new things, like you'll tap into these qualities and these abilities, and maybe you have a magical side that you never really, you know, knew you had before. So I think you only find that when you slow down and you know, become still and present in your life, and no, not everything has to be, you know, hardcore all the time. So Aries, that is the reading. Thank you so much for joining me. If you felt like this reading resonated with you, please give me a thumbs up. I would love for you to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss readings from me. And Aries, I will see you in the next reading.